So, hello everyone. I hope you can all see my screen. If you can, just give me a thumbs up so I can see if you can see my screen. Okay, thank you. Okay, so today we are going to be designing or creating a style guide from scratch, right? And we using AI um, in this process, right? But before we start, I believe it's always right that we have like a little introduction as to what a color style guide is, and why it is also important, right? So after that, we'll now go into like the main process, and we just continue designing from there. So this is day six of our creating a fintech app from scratch, and we have spoken about different things prior to this day. And since today is day six, we are now talking about creating a style guide before we now start designing and all that in Figma, right? So what is our goal for today's class? We want to be able to understand what a color style guide is, how to understand or identify the appropriate colors from a product brief, and then we can also know how we are going to choose primary colors, secondary colors, how to understand X codes. So I'll tell you what X codes are. When you see all these X codes and all those things, be able to understand what they are, and generate and organize a color shade, create neutral background, text and semantic colors, use AI to explore and generate color options, and then turn the selected colors into a usable Figma color style guide. And then last thing is applying the color system to real UI components, right? So welcome to day six once again, and today, as I said, we're going to be talking about style guide. So what is a color style guide? Just briefly before we get into the real deal. So style guide is simply a structured collection of colors, right? And a a style guide helps you to define the colors used in a product and what each of them stand for, right? So here, like, a style guide helps you to know, okay, these are the colors that we have, and or these are the colors that we are going to be using in this product, and what each of these colors will be used for. Do you get? So that's exactly what a style guide is. And then he answers the questions such as primary brand color, like what's the primary brand color, what color do we use for buttons, background, text, what color represents the success, what color represents an error, what shades do we use for different, like, you just know what colors are meant for what, right? So that's why it's always good to have a color style guide before you start designing, right? They guide you through the process. And also, if you are working with other designers while you are in a company or whatever, the fact that you already have a style guide helps all of you to use the same colors. Do you get? So instead of you just guessing and just choosing any black color or any blue color, a color style guide helps you to know, or helps everyone in the company or everyone you're working with to be able to know, this is the color, this is the exact color I'm working with, this is the exact X code I'm working with, this exact shade I'm working with. You get? So color guide helps you to do that. Then there's also a difference between color palettes, right? So don't get confused. A color palette and a color style guide. A color palette, if you say a color palette, they're just a collection of colors, right? But they don't really say, oh, this is what this one is for, or this is how it should be used, right? But a color style guide is different because it is now a collection of colors, one, but it also tells you this is the role of each of the colors, and this is how they should be used. You get? So a good color style guide allows different users, or designers rather, to work on the same product, like I said, without creating inconsistent colors. So a lot of people working on the same products know exactly the colors to use, and they are not inconsistent by just choosing or selecting anything. Now, before we start, the first thing you should first of all know is, if you are giving a product brief, maybe a client reaches out to you, gives a product brief, or someone reaches out to you and says, oh, I want you to please help me to design this product. I really don't have a color in mind yet, but I just want it to be good, right? This video is going to be helping you, or this class is going to be helping you to know exactly how to do that, right? Like, how to, you don't know a color at all. Like they don't even give you any color to start with, but you have to um, you know um, have a color you're going to use in your product and all that. You get? So this class is going to help you to be able to know that. So the first thing is, don't start with Figma. Don't just jump on Figma and just start choosing any color and saying, okay, because I'm working on a fintech app, let me just use this color because it's fine. No, you have to have a reason why you're using the color. So before you choose a color, you ask yourself, okay, what is the product, right? And who are the users? What problem does it solve? We have been able to find all this in the previous classes prior to this time, right? And what problem does it solve? What industry does it belong to? What should the product feel like? What is the personality of the brand? You get? This information gives us our color direction. Once you have been able to answer this, for example, if you look at Kuda today, Kuda can use I think they use purple, right, if I'm not wrong. And there's a reason why they use that color. They're also a fintech app in a way, right? But they also um they use color purple. You get? There's a reason why they're using color purple. There's a reason why WhatsApp use color green. There's a reason why Facebook use color blue. There's a reason why Instagram used I think pink and some other colors, right? So there's a reason why TikTok use black. You get? There's a reason why different people use different colors, right? You need to understand the personality of the brand. Is very important before choosing a color. Know the products, know the users, know what problem is solving, understand the personality of the brand. That helps you to now have a color direction. So that's the first thing I'll start with. The second thing is we are going to be using this project brief, which is SwiftServe. I've been using SwiftServe as an example during the class. Then you use FinEasy, which is for students and young professionals. That's your own brief. But for me, I've been using SwiftServe, and I'll continue to use SwiftServe during the course of this class, right? So I'm going to be using this to now create a color style guide. So you all should just follow me on this process. So we already know that SwiftServe is for small business owners and market traders, right? That's the first thing. So we know who it is for. We also know that this is a fintech product, right? It's also a fintech product, and they want to be able to allow users to find nearby agents, withdraw cash, transfer money, fund their wallets, pay suppliers, and view transaction records. So these are the things that SwiftServe as a product should be able to do, right? Now, the next question you'll be asking yourself is, okay, let's break it down, right? We want to choose a color for SwiftServe, but how can we do that, right? We break it down by saying, what is the product? Okay, SwiftServe is a fintech product. That's number one, and it's designed for market traders and small business owners. Number two, who are the audience? Market traders and people who run small businesses. Number three, what is the purpose? To make everyday financial activities simple, fast, and accessible. Now, the brand personality is, we want SwiftServe to feel simple, trustworthy, fast, friendly, secure, and accessible, right? This is their brand personality. This is what SwiftServe wants us to be able to do, right? So now we start to think, this is a fintech product. What are some of the colors that would go with a fintech product? Can anybody give me an example? Like anybody at all? Just any example of a color that you think, okay, would go with this. Something that feels simple, trustworthy, fast, and friendly. What color comes to mind when you think about that? Okay, go ahead, Abdul Gafar. I can't hear you though. I don't know if you're speaking. Okay, someone says blue and green. Okay, thank you. Dolako, do you want to say something? Sorry?
Blue and white.
Okay, blue and white. Well, I'm saying like a primary color. Okay, green and
Okay,
white.
primary color.
Yeah. Blue, right?
Yeah, blue.
Okay, somebody else said green, which is good. And I really love this because we are going in the same direction. Now, we have been able to say, okay, number one is, we have been able to say we want blue, or like a color that will go well with a fintech product could be blue. This fintech product, based on the personality, will be blue or green. right? And so what we are going to be doing is we are now going to be using something called Google Stitch, right? Now we have been able to say, okay, this is the color we want, right? So let me see. This is a prompt that I created, which I'll be sending to everybody, right? So that everybody can also use it. And I think I'll be dropping it in the comment section of the video so that everybody can also use it. So number one is what I did in this prompt is I'm going to be using this prompt on Google Stitch, and I'm going to use Google Stitch to generate my primary colors, secondary accents, neutral colors, right? That's what I'm going to be using Google Stitch to do. And I'm going to show us the process. So it's going to load together. We are all going to be here watching it happen. So I'm going to copy this prompt. So it just simply says I'm designing a modern fintech product for small business owners, blah blah blah. And I want what? Green. We just decided that green is the color, or one of the colors that probably will go for this, right? Now we don't know exactly the color code or the X code, right? But we know that okay, we want green. So I've included that okay, I want green to be the primary color brand, right? The primary brand color rather, and I want it to create a professional color palette for blah blah blah. So what I'm going to do is copy this, control C, then I go to give me a second. I'm going to Google Stitch. Okay. I'm going to Google Stitch, right? And then I can come here and just paste it, right? So I've pasted my prompts, blah blah blah, and then what I'm going to do is just click generate. All right, so now we're going to look at Google Stitch helping us to create a what's it called, it like a color style guide for us, right? But it's not going to be everything, right? This is not everything. This is just like the first process into what we are going to be doing, right? And the reason why I'm saying this is I feel like can you see now it has been able to do, and this was like under how many seconds, right? So now you can see it helped us to create a primary, secondary, tertiary, and neutral color, right? And this is very good. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this and put it on the Figma file. So to copy, let me just highlight everything like that. Okay, so I've screenshot it. So let me go to this. Good. And I just paste it here. Okay, let me bring it from thank God. Okay, so let me bring the file that I just copied. I think this is it, right? Yeah. So this is what I just copied, right? You can see it. Now we have, so the thing is, we didn't have a color before, but we used Google Stitch to give us like an idea of a probable color that would go for a fintech product, right? Using green as the primary color. Sorry, are we still there? I hope we are. Okay, I think so. So now we have been able to create that, right? So this is the first process. We have been able to do that using Google Stitch. So you can see that even if you don't have an idea on how to start, AI can help you in the process, right? But you still, as the designer, have to decide on certain decisions. The decision we decided on before doing this was we decided, okay, what are the colors that probably will go for a fintech product? And we started by saying green, blue, okay, and then from there we went to AI to help us to now generate a color palette or a color guide that would probably go for a fintech product, right? So now it has been able to do this. Can you see that? So we have this already, but now it doesn't end here because we want these files to be on this file, or we want these colors rather to be on this file, so we can just easily change colors and stuff like that. So now we have done the first thing, right? Now what's the next? The next thing is I can go to let me look at it again. We have these colors. So what I'm going to do is I'll go to I'm also going to use, so you can use Tailwind CSS UI colors, right? This is how it is. Can you see this? So here, what I can do is I go to Google Stitch, right? I go to Google Stitch. The color we generated, do you remember this one, right? I don't know if you guys can see it. Yeah, let me copy it. Let me bring this here so I can see when it shows copied. So I'll copy each of these colors. What's going on? What's happening? I'm trying to like zoom in on my stuff, but it's not working. Okay, so you can copy this. This is the first color, right? You can copy it, you can paste it here. So I'm going to show you different styles, right? Now once you have been able to do that, you can come to this UI color website and then paste it here, right? Now this is the color palette for color green. Can you see that? I have been able to create a color palette. You can see it has like different shades. This is the color. Can you see it here? Yeah. Now it has different shades. We have like the lighter shades, we have the darker shades. We use this using UI colors, right? So you can be able to see different shades of a particular color, right? So I'm going to also bring this or copy this into Figma. So there's another way you can do it. You can export. You see this export here, right? You can just, once you click on export, you can now click on copy to clipboard, and then you just go back to Figma, and then you can paste it like that, right? Let me change the color here to F so that we can see it, right? So we can bring, so what we did was we carry this color green, Abby, and then we brought it here. So I can also just go back and just copy it so that we can see all of them together. So I'm going to just come here, I'll just copy everything like that. I'll go back to Figma, and then I'm just going to bring it in. I want to show us something. There are different ways people do this, right? But this is one of like the oldest ways people always, generated, a lot of colors. Can you see? So we have, don't forget, we started from this where we generated this using what they call it, Google Stitch, right? We had our primary, secondary, tertiary, and neutral. Now we created different shades of this primary, right? So that if you want to have a lighter green, maybe you're using it on a particular element and you want a lighter surface, you can use this shade. If you are using a much darker green, you can use this. You get? So we're able to do that, right? Now this is one of the ways you can go on and go and carry the secondary color, carry the tertiary color, go to Tailwind, or you go to the other website that's there, which is sorry, which is also, you can also use this one as well, sense.dev, right? You just paste your value here like that. Sorry, you can just paste any of your values here. I think I've had too much. I copied everything wrongly. Let me just remove that. Yeah, so let's say this is a color. You can see it has also generated like different colors as well. Do you get? So you can use tints or you can use Tailwind, anyone you choose actually. And on Tailwind, what I really like is how they also show you examples of how to use like the different shades. So if you over on it now, you can see they use the background color of 200. So this helps you to also understand how to use these colors, right? So for example, when you have generated all this color palette and whatever, you know exactly, if you are creating maybe a flyer or something, or you are creating a chat or something, you can know exactly the kind of background to use. Can you see what they did? Look at this one too. This one is having a background of 400, so they use this one. This one is I think they use 400, they use 600, they use 500. Can you see that? So the different shades, they use that in this, and that's how you can go on and on. I can give you a very good example on how to use colors. Do you get? So this is a way for you to even know exactly how to combine these different shades of these colors. So it gives you a very good what's it called, idea, right? And you can I think the other ones here you have to like get pro. So, but at least for this, you should be able to have like a good idea on how to use these colors. Now let me go back, right? So now we have been able to tell you, okay, how you can use, the UI colors that I just finished coming from, and how to use that to be able to know how to use different colors, different shades and stuff. But now if I want to create a color guide, right, there's a, should I say, an easier way you can do that, and you can use that, do that using plugins. All right. You can, there's so many ways you can use AI to do it. You can use plugins, you can use different ways, right? Just the way I created this using Google Stitch, using Google Stitch, you can do so much. You can use ChatGPT, you can, so many things, right? But today I'm going to be using a plugin to create a whole style guide using these colors, right? Yeah, this is what I'm going to be generating. So if I'm going to use a plugin, I'm going to use foundation color generator, right? So you can search foundation, yeah, this one, and then you can see it's loading. So what I need to do is, number one, I'll change this to like material design system, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to come and change this color here. So let me change the color. Let me first remove. So this was the previous ones I created. Can you see this ones? Can you see this by this side? These are like previous ones I've created before now, right? So I'm going to create something like this so that when we want to use them, we can just use any of the colors here in our design. So I'm going to delete this one, all right? I'm going to create it from scratch again. So now I said, which color are we looking for? We are looking for 065 F46, 065 F46, right? Now here I'll change it to primary because that's our primary color, right? And then I can click on create styles. Now can you see what just happened? By this side, can you see that it has created all the colors for us? This is our style guide, right? So all those colors that we were thinking about, if you come here, you can see it. This is that same color we had. Let me go back. Let me show you something. Okay. So I think I use, what did I use for this? Give me a second. I'm trying to get something. Yeah, okay. So I used this color, right, and I created a whole system for this, right, and you can see how it is, right? And then I've created a style for this, so I can bring this up like that, and then I can also create like a palette here, so that if I'm working with developers and stuff, they can easily just come here. So if I click on palette, right, what happens is, can you see this? It just came up. So we can have, you can see the same color in like different shades, right? And you can see the X code. These are the X codes. Can you see that? You can see 065 F46. You can see like different ones, right? So these are like different shades of green. And we can go again to do the second one, which is the secondary color that we had, right? Let's go to the secondary color. How did I get there? Okay, secondary color. What's secondary color? 1E, 1B, 4B. So let's go here. 1E, 1B, 4B. Yeah, I'm going to change this to secondary. Yeah, so these are our secondary color. 1E, 1B, 4B. Okay, now I create styles again. It's showing 10 styles created. So let's go back again. Let's scroll down here. Can you see it? That's created another set of colors again. So now we have primary and we have secondary colors. We can do the same thing again. We can do our tertiary colors. So tertiary is still like accent colors, right? Yeah, so they can also work for that. So we can change this one now. So we want to do tertiary, right? So we can have maybe write tertiary colors, and then what am I going to write? Say 823, that's the X code here, F 3A, and then boom. Now create styles. Boom. Can you see it here again? Yep. So I have primary, I have secondary, I have tertiary. You can have neutral, you can have the colors that you want to use for your text, right? So you can have like so many colors, or the colors that you're going to be using. But like standard, I think let me just write everything here, or should I maybe just say it? So the colors mostly that you need in your product are: number one, a primary color. It's not every product that uses secondary color, but some products have secondary color, right? You have secondary color as well. Then you also have what they call semantic colors, right? Neutral colors, right? So neutral colors are like whites, off whites, light gray, black. Do you get? Those are like your neutral colors. Semantic colors are colors that you use for maybe success. So if there's like a transaction that just happened and it went successfully, that's like success. If it is a warning. If it is error, do you get? So those are like semantic colors, right? What else? I think I don't know if I mentioned everything. I said primary, secondary, accent, neutral. So the accent can also, like, the tertiary colors can also fall under like accents, right? And what are accent colors? They are mostly used for they're used like they're not used too much, but they're used for like important information, like promotional elements, or highlight or visual emphasis on a particular thing. Do you get? So those are what these different colors are for, right? And you can use them to be able to now say, okay, these are the colors I'm going to be using for my primary colors. So when you're designing a product, you already know that, okay, this is going to my CTA button is going to be this primary color, right? I'm using tertiary colors or accent colors for you know things that I want to have maybe important information. I'm using neutral colors like white, gray, black, and all that. You get? So those are like how you can actually create a style guide, right? Can you see it? So I can be able to create as many style guides as I want, right? This is green. I can also create. I don't think I created the other one. Yeah, I don't think I did that. So this is the tertiary. Let me see. What was the color for? What was the color for the secondary? Let me see. I don't even know why you went to that place. Secondary is 1E1 B4B, right? Okay, 1E1 B4. Yeah, create styles. Oh, sorry, I already have the styles. Did I create that again? I wanted to create palettes instead. Okay. Now let's write secondary as well. Do you get? So from this you can now be able to create like your primary color, your secondary color, your tertiary color, which could also be used as your your accent colors as well. And then we also have like colors like semantic colors. Semantic colors are colors that um, semantic colors are colors that are used for like success, and stuff like that. So let me just go ahead and do some other things so that at least you have like a good guide on what to use. So let me come here, let me delete this one. I wanted to do primary, secondary, tertiary. So I'm going to do which one again? Semantic colors, right? Which are like for success and stuff like that, right? Okay. Let me create. So we were able to create using what they call it, using what's the name of the, I'm trying to remember, using Google Stitch. Yeah, using Google Stitch we were able to create this, right? And if you notice, Google Stitch created primary, secondary, tertiary, neutral, right? But I didn't see colors for semantic. I didn't see colors that I can use for like a success screen. I didn't see colors that I can use for an error screen, right? Those are the limitations of AI sometimes, right? And I think Google Stitch always creates like the first primary, secondary, tertiary, and neutral colors, right? But you as a designer, you should know that, okay, I don't think this is done, right? I still need some colors that I'm going to use for semantics, right? So you can also come here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to, let me see if I can copy this. Then I'm going to go to ChatGPT and say, I don't know if you can paste. Come on. Okay, I don't think it's pasting, so I'm just going to download this instead. Yep, I'll download it. So what I want to do is I want to be able to create semantic colors as well, so that we can know the colors that we should be using for we can be using for our text. Do you get? I don't know if you guys are understanding. Are we clear so far? Right, so we can be able to know, okay, these are the colors for text, these are the colors for buttons, these are the color for other things. You understand what I'm saying? So let me just, now it has downloaded, so let me go back to ChatGPT. Okay. Yep. Okay. So I can just tell it these are the colors created by Google Stitch for my fintech product that I'm designing. Please add colors. Okay, the semantic colors as well. Yeah, and then okay, let me write this stitch. Okay, so let's see what ChatGPT is going to do. Mind you, I really like ChatGPT. I don't know why. I just really love using ChatGPT a lot. Yep. Okay, so we can see these are the colors that we gave it, right? We can see the primary, secondary, tertiary, and this. Now we can also see the success colors, right? So this is like for a success message, this is for a warning message. So this is going to be something like orange yellow, yeah, orange yellowish. This is going to be red. This is going to be an info color, right? And then you can see saying one step further, blah blah blah. This is success, warning, error, info. Do you get? And I think what it did is it broke it down into that our scale, which is from 50 to 900. That's the lighter shade to like the darker shade, right? So that's what it was able to do. But you can see that this is really nice and this is very good, and with this we can be able to have a full foundation of our color style guide, right? And let me just copy this, Ctrl C. Okay, so let me copy that and bring it here. Okay, so we have been able to see, let me take to the other side because I think everything is just going towards that place. I don't know why, so I just rather do that. Sorry for this. Sometimes it can be really messy before it gets really clean. Okay, so let me just Ctrl C, Ctrl X. Let me move it towards this here. Yeah, this is exactly where I'm going to. So Ctrl V, right? So now we have been able to do primary. This was meant to be secondary. Let's play secondary, bro. Secondary. This has to be secondary. Okay. Secondary, tertiary, and what else? We also have neutral. We have not done that, and then we have the semantic as well. So semantic are like different colors. So here we can also have like semantic colors right? So if you don't really want to create like a shade for everything, but I think it's just let's just do it, right? Let's bring the success. So success. So this is the green. This is success semantic colors, right? Let me use white so I can. Sorry, you can see all the text here. Yeah. So now I'm going to just bring all the colors. This is semant. Let me just use success. Yeah. Now it's meant to be like green. Okay. Wait, chill. Let me see something. Let me see this color. Okay. Control C. I feel like the colors are not changing. Is it just me? Yeah, I think the colors are not changing. Let me see something again. Yeah, I don't know what's happening. Let me remove it and change it back again. Because I noticed the colors were not changing. Because that's definitely not the color I put there. Yeah, so let's go again. This, change it to material. No, this is not the color. Yeah, Control C, Control V, boom. Yeah, exactly. Because I knew it was meant to be green, so I was like, what's going on here? Okay, so success, right? And then you can create a style guide. So these are like success um, colors. So if you are doing a UI and you want to have like a success screen, or you want to put like a success element, you know exactly the color you're meant to use. Do you get? So let's see. Can you see that we have success? So I can change this here to semantic. Can you see that? So now we're going to have, under the semantic, we're going to have success, warning, error, info. So we know that when we are going for what's it called, for success, we already know the kind of colors to use. We can come here and choose any shade that fits into the product we are building. If we are doing warning, we know the kind of shades to use, or the kind of where we need to go to. Do you get? So this is how color guides really help everyone, and that way you don't, I don't know what's going on. Why does the thing just not load? Yeah, I don't know what's going on with this, because it doesn't just generate after the first time, and this is my first time noticing this, and I don't know why it's happening like that. I feel like there's an issue somewhere. It's really not working. I don't know why, and I don't want to generate the colors like this because it's going to be a mistake. But yeah, I think you can, keep canceling and bringing it back. But I just wanted us to be able to see how to create a color style guide, right? So if you're designing maybe a product, for instance, now let me create something so that we can use this color guide and see how we can use it in our design. Do you get? So I think that's also good. Uh, okay. Should okay, so let me bring the color from here. I'm trying to look for that app we have designed before and just use it. There's a particular product we designed in our previous classes, so I want to bring that in and then use that. Okay, so I think this is it. I don't know, should I use this one? Let me use this one. Control C, and I take it back to our page where we are designing. Yeah, so Control V, right? So from here I can change colors. So let's say I want to change this blue and this blue, right? So one of the colors we created from this style guide, what we can simply do is go to colors, then go to this blue, right? And I think this blue is 0023FF. So now let's go there. what you can do, can you see this sign here? You can see style. You click on it, and then you can change it to any color. And our primary color is this one, so which is the 500. Click on it. Can you see that it has changed all the colors? Do you get that were blue before? Do you get? So, and you can always do that easily by just coming here, changing colors. So if I want to change it to another color, maybe it's a tertiary color, I'm changing it. Can you see that? So it can easily just help you to have the same colors. So if I'm working with another designer or a couple of designers, right, we can all be able to like know the exact, these are the semantic colors. So if it is a success screen, for instance, I could use this color, right, not on the button though, but maybe like on a particular pop-up or something. Do you get? So this is exactly how you can be able to use color style guides, and they guide you. Do you get? When you're working, they guide you. You can easily change all your colors. You can have like, do you get? You can see that I can change all these colors and make sure I'm using just, I was not able to add the neutral color where I would have added all the grays, the whites, unless that's what I'll be using here. But I'm just using this as an example, right? Because it's your neutral colors you most likely use for your text. You most likely use whites, grays, and all that. You get? So this is exactly what I just wanted to show us and teach us how to create these color style guides. Now, as I said, don't forget that your neutral colors are the ones you use mostly for your text, for backgrounds, and all those lighter shades. Your primary colors are mostly what you may use for like your CTA buttons, and stuff like that. Do you get? So um, I feel like um, today we have been able to at least learn how to create style guides, right? Using number one, Google Stitch to be able to bring our colors from zero. We just had an idea to bring it to life, right, which I feel is very good. And then here we're able to generate our primary, secondary, tertiary, and neutral colors. And I said if you want to create any of this color or like the different shades, you can just use that plugin I give to us, or you could probably even use AI to be able to do that. But you can be able to use the plugin so that it can easily help you to bring your work to the file, and you can easily like have it like this, like this. Do you see that? Right. So using the plugin, it helps you really fast, and you can also put this here so that your developers or whoever you're working with can be able to know the exact codes, the exact shades you use, and they can check it from here. You get? So they can help you when you are like handing off your design to developers. You get? So I hope you have been able to learn today. Number one, how to use Google Stitch to create a color palette or color style from scratch. Then how to also now go ahead and create like our semantic colors, um, which are going to be used for success, warning, errors, error state, and stuff like that. Right. I hope you have been able to also learn that using the use of ChatGPT as well. And then I hope you were able to use or learn how to use the plugin to now create this style guides that we now have here in Figma, right? So I hope the class was um, enlightening enough or educative enough for you to be able to learn all this. So yeah, over to you guys. I think questions. Yeah, questions. Were we clear about it? Is there something you weren't clear about? Is there something you would need more clarifications on? This is the time for all of us to speak, right? So yeah, let's go ahead and speak. So are we all clear? Shalewa, are you clear? Dolapo, are you clear?
I wanted to add something because I'm trying to gather my thoughts properly.
Okay, no problem. Chisholm, what about you? Are you good? Are you clear?
Yes, yes, I'm clear.
Okay, so you're able to understand everything, right?
Yes.
Okay. Dolapo, go ahead.
So I wanted to ask that at what point do you know when to like like now when you're designing something like your screen is always supposed to be like neutral and stuff. At what point do you know you're supposed to use your primary color, your secondary color, your like That's what I'm trying to ask. Like,
Okay.
the background of your screen is meant to be white, basically. Not meant to be white, meant to be white, but like, you get
Okay.
what I'm saying.
Okay, I get you. So, I think one thing that we all need to know is when to use what colors. Now, let me do something that I feel like everyone can do in their free time, which is I'm going to ask ChatGPT to create a list of the different colors and when they should be used in design. So, I think I can just do that. Let me just record. So, hi ChatGPT, I want you to create a list of different colors: primary, secondary, tertiary, accent color, semantic, and all the colors, and then tell me exactly when to use them in my design. Yeah, thank you. So now let's see what's gonna happen. Um, so ChatGPT is okay. So can you see this? Now it says, now the reason I'm using this is you can always know exactly how to use colors, right? And just in case you're ever confused, AI can always guide you, but you should always have like a knowledge yourself, right? But in case you do not, it's always good that you ask, right? And you can see this. It says primary colors. Your primary color is the main. Let me see something though. Okay. Wow. Okay, so it says your primary color is the main brand color, right? So for example, if you see Kuda, their main color is the purple, right? And it says use it for things that represent the main action or identity of your product, right? So things like primary button, right, which is our CTA button. If you want to send money to someone, if you are designing like the onboarding screens, all those things, your primary button or your main CTA button, right, is even here. Your main CTA button should be what, your primary colors, right? If you are also doing like important links like view transaction, brand elements like your logo, progress indicators, all those important things should always be your primary colors, right? So that's why you see in a design where when you're entering the product, for instance, maybe you see the logo, of course, will have the primary color. The button, the CTA buttons will have the primary color. Links on the page will have the primary color. Not even just that. Even when you are like seeing the navigation bars that's below your mobile screen, for instance, right? You'll be able to see that most times. Let me see if I can show you an example. Okay, I'm going to be showing you people everything here, but let me see if there's a product. Okay, maybe child deck. Let me see child deck, and let's see. So if you look at their navigation bar, if you look at their uh, sure, I want to change something here. Okay. Okay, so if you look at their I don't know if you guys can see it, but like if you look at the navigation bar here, right below, everything that is being used are Childex primary color. If you look at this filter, they're using, I don't know if you can see it, I don't think it's so clear. Yeah, can you see that now? Can see this? The filter is what, like their primary color. Look at the footer. Can you see that they also use primary colors there, right? Can you see that? So mostly they, if you look at this again, look at join the wait list. Can you see that they use primary color? Can you see how they use their primary colors in their design, right? So that's one of the ways, or one of the things you can use your primary color for, right? And you can see this, we also created like a different shade. We created like from 50 to I think 950, right? And you can use the lowest shade for like subtle backgrounds, I think what they did here, let's look at this. Look at this local market. This one here. This, I don't know where I'm pointing, but this one. I think from where I'm pointing to. Yeah, sorry. But yeah, that one. You can see that one, right? If you look at it, they used a lower shade of green. Did you notice that? Yeah, that is also from their primary color, but they reduce the color. Do you understand? Right, that's like a lower shade of green. So if you look at all these products, you realize that most of these things I'm saying here is actually what is in practice. You get, it's not like something different or something absurd. It's what people are already using. You get, and for your secondary colors, this is your supporting brand color, right? You can have, and like I said, it's not every brand that may have a secondary color, right? It's not every brand, right? That may have a secondary color. You can use it for secondary buttons, secondary navigation, supporting sections, cards that need differentiation, secondary CTAs, charts, illustrations. So, for example, let's look at this. Let's look at this. Look at look at that first section. You can see like we have different colors, right? Yeah, those are also part of like their secondary colors that they can use for illustrations. Can you see them? Yeah, that's exactly it. So this is how you look at products and study it. You look at products to study like, okay, what are they using? Which of them is their primary color? Which of them is their secondary color? Which of them is like their accent color? Do you understand what I'm saying? Right? So let's go to accent colors. And I think I already said this during the class, that your tertiary can also be used as your accent colors, right? And this is where you want to make an important distinction, right? So your tertiary color is part of your brand palette, right? But they're used for decorative elements, special highlights, promotional cards, um, what else? Illustrations, unique sections, right? So you can you you can use your tertiary colors for like illustrations as well, data visualization. Do you get? And then semantic colors. I think I already said this one, where these are colors you can use for like success, error, warning. So if you see a color like green that may be different from the brand color, I don't know what color they use in child deck. I don't really use child deck as much. I use global more, right? But I don't think I've really studied what color they use in their success screen though. I've not really checked that, but maybe when I do, I'll be able to realize. But yeah, semantic colors, success. As I said, when you have like a successful transaction, when money is received, payment is completed. Can you see this? Like different things where you can use your semantic colors, right? On like success semantic colors. And yeah, warning. So maybe you have a pending transaction. You can always see on products where you see like an orange sign. Do you get that? You see a warning, or you have a low balance. Do you get? If your balance is low, you probably see um warning, or like a warning sign, like orange sign. But if it is red, as in there's no money, you see red. Do you get? And those are colors that are used to actually represent something. So you are learning that these are not just colors for color sake. They are actually colors that represent different things. You get? So you also have to have that in your color style guide. You get? So that when you are designing that product, you know this is the shade of green I'm using. This is the shade of orange I'm using. This is the shade of red I'm using for error. And any designer that takes up a project after that can also be able to see that these are the colors for certain reasons. And I remember saying when we started this class, I said your color style guide is not just a collection of colors. They also tell you what those colors are used for, right? And this is how we can know them. Do you get? So in your free time, you can just Google and search, okay, how do I even know which color to use? What are these colors? What are these different colors used for when I'm designing? That way you start to have a very good mindset of how to use colors in your design. Do you get? So this is like a guide. I've taught us how to create a style guide, but I think it's also important that we also know how these things are used. And that's why I wanted to show us all this, so that we can learn and not just me talking. You can also see it, right? You can see this. This is also semantic colors. I think they just created this in different shades, 50, 100, blah blah blah. Then we have neutral colors. I know I wasn't able to create a neutral color, right? But you can see you can use a neutral color of 50 for like main app background. So if you see, I think this this one too, look at it well, it's not really completely so white. I don't think it's completely white. Yeah, I think it's like a lower shade, right? So it could be like a neutral 50, right? And we can also see how to use other neutral colors. And I said neutral colors fall in the place of gray, white, black, those. Do you get? So yeah. um what else? Okay, I also said body. Can you see body text here? You can see body text. So if you're looking for what I'm going to use to write a text, you can probably use this. Do you get? For your body text. You can see placeholder text. Just like, there are just so many things that you can learn from, right? And you also have surface or background colors. Okay, this one neutral 50. I think I've said that before. Text colors neutral 900. Can you see that? So it has given you a guide. So once you have created your style guide, come here, just research. Okay, what color should I even use for this? Okay, I should use this. Okay, what color should I use for this? I should use this. Like, it gives you a guide. You get, but you are still the designer. You are the one that goes back to check, does it really make sense? AI can tell you examples of what to do, but you yourself as a designer, you have to check it out. Okay, does this work well? Is this the best thing for me? Is this the best decision I should make? Or is there something better I should have done? Do you get? That's where you as a designer comes in. But AI is there to guide you. Do you get? It's there to like suggest good opinions for you, which I feel like we should all tap into. Do you get? So don't miss out this opportunity where AI is there. Where AI can do a lot of great stuff, but you should be able to use it to your own knowledge, to your own, I don't, should I say wisdom, or but like to amplify yourself, your own knowledge. Do you get? So yeah, so you can see how it has been broken down, but like basic things like okay, see it here, safe. Basic things like your texts, basic things like borders, basic things like your primary color, it will help you to do that. Just create your style guide and come here and ask, okay, what color should I use for this? Out of this is the color style guide I've created. What color should I use for this? It will give you suggestions, and then you, by the time you test them yourself, you may realize that these are actually very good for my product. You get? So I think I've been able to, explain to us like different colors and how they should be used, and how to also use, AI in your work, and how to use this to be able to even guide you on the kind of colors to use, how to mix them, and stuff like that. So I really hope this was a very helpful class to you. And if it is, you already know, please subscribe. Subscribe to this YouTube channel. And yeah, comment, like, share with everyone. And yeah, just let's just keep, and comment as well, so that other people too can see what we are doing and learn from it as well. Thank you so much for subscribing. I really appreciate you all. Okay, so is there any question that anyone wants to ask, right? And always feel free, right? There's no stupid question in design, right? There's no stupid question. Feel free. Me and ChatGPT, we are like best friends. I talk to ChatGPT every day. I learn from it. He learns from me too. So basically, is there any question you want to clarify? Um, have you been able to learn how to create a color style guide? Okay, go ahead.
Good evening, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Good evening.
Okay, so thank you. My question is, when you are combining colors, is it better to play safe or try to be creative with color combinations? Because first of all, I feel like as a designer, you want to do something creative, but I noticed there's a pattern with maybe like, for example, fintechs tend to use a certain type of colors,
Okay.
patterns, all that. And then also sometimes you go to some places and you see some websites and it's looking somehow in the eye. I don't know if it's because it does not actually look good, or it's because your eyes are not used to those colors. So is it better to play safe, or is it okay to actually explore colors and be creative when you're,
Okay.
when
Okay. So the best way to answer that question isn't about being creative or playing safe. The best question is this the right color for my product? That's the first question you have to ask yourself. Now, if you notice, like I said before we started doing all this, I said, what is the first color? What are the colors that come to your mind when we are thinking about the personality of this product we are building? If it's a fintech product, if it is a fintech product that you are talking about money, trust, and all that, what are the colors that come to your mind, right? People make suggestions of blue, green, right? And I also said purple, right? Which is, if you research, you realize that um, purple is kind of like innovative. So a fintech company can have purple, right? And like maybe a dark purple, right? So a dark shade of purple, something like that, not too light or something. But anyways, that is also how would I call it? That is from the idea that this is what I'm building a product. These are the colors that should go with this product. So I'm not going to be building a product and I'm using something that is an outlier because I'm trying to be creative. No, you're meant to stick to what is meant to work for such brands. If you're designing products for like children, you realize that people use colors like playful colors because you're talking about children and you're talking about what's it called? You're talking about children and you're trying to be educative, and children like to see colors and stuff like that. That helps them to like retain, you get, and help their own memory. So if you're using that kind or design that kind of product and you're using use of colors, not that you just use any color, you still have to have like a color palette or a color style guide that you're using, but at least you can be creative with that because it is a children's app, right? Doesn't mean you will not still have a style guide, you will, but I'm just saying you can be more creative with that. But when you're coming to like apps, right? Different kind of apps for like fintech or for like edtech or something, you have to be careful with the colors you're using and make sure that they are on brand, not out of brand, right? As a designer, you may want to be creative. Be creative with what is right. Don't be creative to design something that is not meant to be. You get, because you're trying, because once you design, for example, if I use color pink on a fintech product, I don't think you will use it because you said you could just ask yourself, say, is this a ladies app or is it the second flow app I'm about to use? You'll be confused because you wouldn't think of pink as a color to use for a fintech platform, right? Most people, when they are dealing with money, they want to be seeing things that make them feel serious. They want to be seeing colors like blue, green, things that make them feel serious, right? It's also a feeling as well. Using product, that's why it's called UI UX. Experience is very important. The experience, right? So when you're choosing colors, don't just try to only be creative with colors and just choose different colors. Stay on brand. Research. Ask yourself. Um, I can ask ChatGPT what colors would go for a fintech. I don't know what I'm writing for a fintech app, right? It gives you suggestions. You can see, oh, I don't want this. I think he's doing it based on the information I've said before, but can you see this? Most of them are iron, like you can see green. I don't even know why I did all this, but you can see that yeah, can you see this? Green, green. You can see from even the suggestions alone, we can be able to see that fintech products most likely would use a green or a blue. Do you get? So from this, or you can say a darker shade of blue, right? Or is this a darker shade of green? Yeah. You can see, look at their color palette. You can see that. So you can already have like an idea when you research, right? And it helps you. So you start to design on brand. Do you get, not out of brand because you are trying to be creative. So I hope that really helps you to understand. Thank you so much. Does anybody want to to ask any other questions? Does anybody have any other questions to ask? Okay, so I guess we are good. Thank you for that. So as I said, let's not forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel, and also one thing I don't think I've been saying in our calls is my fintech isometric illustration pack. If you haven't used it, you can go and try it out. Now we have like 71 users. I'm super really happy that people are using the product, and I hope it helps everyone who uses it. So if you haven't, you can jump on it, use it in your design. And yeah, I think it's been a month, like 1 month ago. Yeah, I uploaded this, and I'm glad that over 70 people have used it. So if you haven't, please do, and please subscribe as well. Thank you all for watching. Happy designing to everyone, and see you all in the next class. Bye, guys. Bye, everyone.